Unraveling the Spiritual Meaning of Naomi, a Journey of Love and Redemption. The spiritual meaning of Naomi. As we delve into the realm of spirituality, we often come across significant names and stories that hold deeper meanings, transcending their literal interpretation. One such name is Naomi, a central figure in the biblical narrative. This article will unravel the spiritual meaning of Naomi and how her story resonates with our lives today. We will explore the journey of love and redemption that unfolds throughout her life and touch upon the various interpretations of her name. The spiritual meaning of Naomi. A brief overview. The spiritual meaning of Naomi, a name with Hebrew origins, is tied to the biblical narrative of Ruth. Rooted in the Hebrew word noam, which means pleasantness or delight, her name Naomi reflects the essence of love and joy. This deeper meaning is beautifully interwoven into her life story, which serves as a powerful lesson in faith, devotion, and redemption. Naomi's story, a tale of love and redemption. Naomi's story unfolds in the book of Ruth, a touching narrative that traces the journey of two widows, Ruth and Naomi. It is through their unwavering faith and love for one another that they overcome adversity and find redemption. In this story, we see the spiritual meaning of Naomi come to life, as her character embodies love, kindness, and devotion. Here's a table outlining the major events in the life of Naomi in the Old Testament. Major event description: famine in Bethlehem. Naomi, along with her husband Elimelech and two sons Machlon and Kilian, leave Bethlehem due to famine and migrate to Moab. Death of Elimelech. Naomi's husband, Elimelech, dies in Moab, leaving her a widow. Marriage of her sons. Naomi's sons marry two Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. Death of her sons after about 10 years in Moab. Both of Naomi's sons also die, leaving Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah as widows. Decision to return to Bethlehem. Naomi hears that the Lord has ended the famine in Bethlehem and decides to return home. She urges her daughters-in-law to stay in Moab and remarry. Orpah stays, but Ruth insists on going with Naomi. Return to Bethlehem with Ruth. Naomi and Ruth return to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. On arrival, the women of the town express their surprise at Naomi's misfortune. Ruth's marriage to Boaz. Naomi guides Ruth to appeal to Boaz, a relative of Elimelech, to act as their kinsman redeemer. Boaz marries Ruth, preserving the lineage of Naomi's family. Birth of Obed. Ruth gives birth to a son, Obed, who Naomi cares for. Obed is the grandfather of King David, making Naomi an ancestor of Jesus. These are the major events in Naomi's life as documented in the book of Ruth in the Old Testament. The symbolic significance of Naomi's name: from bitterness to sweetness. Naomi's life takes a dramatic turn when she loses her husband and sons, leaving her to face a life of hardship and despair. In her grief, she renames herself Mara, meaning bitter. This change symbolizes the transformation of her life from a state of joy and delight to one of sorrow and bitterness. However, her journey does not end here, as her life eventually takes a turn for the better, showcasing the power of faith and love in overcoming adversity. The essence of love and devotion. The spiritual meaning of Naomi is further emphasized in her relationship with her daughter-in-law Ruth. Despite having no obligation to remain with Naomi, Ruth chooses to stay by her side, demonstrating unwavering love and devotion. This bond between the two women highlights the power of love, faith, and loyalty, ultimately leading to their redemption and the restoration of Naomi's joy. Naomi's legacy. Lessons for our lives. The power of unconditional love. The spiritual meaning of Naomi teaches us about the transformative power of unconditional love. Her story reminds us that love can transcend boundaries, be it cultural, social, or familial, and has the ability to heal even the deepest wounds. The importance of faith and trust. Naomi's journey also underscores the importance of faith and trust, both in a higher power and in the people around us. By placing their trust in each other and in God, Naomi and Ruth find redemption and purpose, even amidst the darkest times. The spiritual meaning of Naomi in our everyday lives. Finding inspiration in Naomi's journey as we navigate our own spiritual paths. The spiritual meaning of Naomi can serve as a source of inspiration and guidance. Her story encourages us to cultivate love, faith, and devotion in our lives, allowing us to experience the joy and fulfillment that comes with redemption. Embracing the lessons of love and redemption. Incorporating the spiritual meaning of Naomi into our lives means embracing the lessons of love and redemption that her story imparts. By fostering love, trust, and faith in our relationships and spiritual practices, we can move closer to a state of spiritual fulfillment and inner peace. Lessons we can learn from the life of Naomi. Here's a table illustrating some key lessons we can learn from the life of Naomi in the Old Testament. Lesson description: endurance in trials. Naomi's life teaches us about the ability to endure in times of great personal tragedy and loss. Despite losing her husband and sons, she continues her journey, Faith in God. Naomi's decision to return to Bethlehem upon hearing that God had ended the famine demonstrates her faith and reliance on God, even in hardship. Mentorship. Naomi provides guidance to Ruth, showing the importance of mentorship and the influence one generation can have on the next. Love and loyalty. Naomi's relationship with Ruth, who insists on staying with her despite Naomi's urging to stay in Moab, teaches us about the depth of love and loyalty that can exist in relationships. God's sovereignty despite the many trials she faced. Naomi's story ends with restoration and hope. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, welcome to our family. View all posts.